We are live. Welcome back. Don't worry. This will be, of course, filled in by Akshay Kumar. So, I mean, due course, he's putting out a fantastic video for you guys right now. It's called cricket.com Stance, the Island Special. That will be hitting our screen shortly. But really apologize to all the people right here, right now, who were on our previous stream for the first innings of this watch along. Now you guys are trickling in slowly, and you guys will surely be heckling us in the comments in due course. So, all six of you guys watching, brilliant to hear that. And we've started without you. Please join me. Please join me. As a first ball, and Jaiswal is on strike to mark Adair. And I think India have not taken a single. So Jaiswal still not off the mark. Welcome back to Akshay. You've not got your dinner yet.
This is it.
This is it.
Yeah.
Even I'm just going for
a cup of
nice
black coffee.
Black tea. It's good to see us back again because essentially, if you guys saw that bizarre ending to the first innings watch along, we apologize. So repeatedly saying and cutting a sorry figure, but hopefully India won't be cutting a sorry figure as Jaiswal goes down the ground in not a convincing fashion, but he'll get probably two. And apparently he's forgotten his specs.
Thank you.
That's the first time I've seen specs thrown across the room for a while. But all you lovely people joining us, or wherever you guys are, give this video a like as well because it helps with the algorithm.
Please do.
And let us know what you think in terms of this T20 International, right? Because Ireland at one point in time were 59 for 6. They've somehow managed to get their way up to what is it, Akshay now?
138.
139 they got. So India needing 140 to win and go 1-0 up in this 3-match series. Jaiswal, cut away for 4. I mean, it's just a matter of room and width that you can give this southpaw the form that he's in. And Jaiswal doesn't cease to disappoint. Brilliant stuff. Absolutely brilliant stuff. And that's what I want to expect to see more of him. I wouldn't mind India cantering home.
True. I mean,
with like 14 overs, 15 overs to spare.
Fair.
14 overs to spare.
Jeez.
Yeah, I was just like, when is he going to take me seriously?
Yeah, I wasn't even listening to it.
But the good old snacks are welcome. This is 72% cacao dark chocolate.
Oh, wow.
Which is good. Oh,
it's hit him. It's hit him in the midriff region. Also, this going back to one of the last comments we had in the previous watch along. Unfortunately, we have to call it that.
Yeah.
But during the closing stages of the here along, as some of you rightly said, someone had asked this question. I'm not sure if it was Introspect or who it was, or was it even Santosh Udappa, where they'd asked, could you name 2 West Indies players who've been a part of Indian movies / documentaries? Immediately, my mind went to 2 names. One is, of course, Stage 9 Chandrapal. He was a part of 83. And the good old Patiala House, which saw Kyron Pollard play. If you remember.
My best guess would have probably been Viv Richards because he had that whole Bollywood connect, right?
I mean, apart from his wife or rather his...
Yeah, but I'm sure like way back, some movie they would just played him.
But
shot,
Jaiswal. Yeah, shot.
Again, threading the eye of the needle. But so that's a good shout. Stage 9 Chandrapal's in 83. Yeah. I didn't know that. He plays
Larry Gomes.
He plays Larry Gomes, as you call it. I mean, quite ridiculous.
Yeah, and talking of movies and cricket and movies, we've got
cricket and movies. Cricket and movies. I like this. I love the strategic plugins from Akshay. Not just this time around, but tonight he's actually been on his A game with the plugins. First with the stance, now with, of course, a movie which has hit the screens today, ladies and gentlemen.
Just today.
I'm talking about Goomer, which is a damn good watch. Go watch it if you haven't already. I know it's just released, but look, it is brilliant. If you love any sort of sports movie, you will love this. It tells you about a sports person's difficulties, the hurdles that they meet, and it also kind of intertwines the modern reality of sport just generally. So good on the Goomer cast and good on the movie, because it's these kind of movies that we need, especially in our country, to kind of spread a positive attitude about stories like this.
100%.
And I can't wait to watch the movie. In fact, I'm going on the weekend, so you guys should check it out as well. The Goomer movie, which stars, of course, Shabana Azmi is there. Of course,
that's the first name you go to.
Abhishek Bachchan, Amitabh Bachchan. I think Virendra Sehwag spoke about it. As well. I think he saw the movie. I think Harsha Bhogle tweeted it as well.
So Sayami Khair plays the titular role. I didn't want to say that, but sure. There's Angad Bedi as well.
Surely there's a better word you can use instead of
titular. I couldn't think of anything. She plays the female lead. And this is the first time in over 14 years that Abhishek and Amitabh are finally back together sharing screen space. So that's something to look out for.
That's
As
mad.
a Bollywood buff,
That is
I'll
mad.
have to bring that out. Yeah,
You
very-
sound like one of those Mumbai film critics, like, you know, like Rajiv Masand or something like that.
but
it's,
yeah, Sammy Khair.
essentially, it's a good watch. Goomer
Yep,
for
yep,
sure. We're
yep.
going to be like, doing lots of content around that, just generally as well. And we can get some sneak peek interviews. Who knows?
True,
But
true,
give
true.
that a watch, and we'll let you just think about that for a bit. Meanwhile, Santosh Sharma, good to see you and all the other people joining us back in this diabolical watch along. I say that because first of a kind technological glitch in our watch along history. We were audible but not visible. I don't know how that happens, but YouTube and StreamYard, if you guys are watching, answer us because we're trying to figure it out. Santosh goes on to say, Akshay, don't know whether to be thankful to McCarthy for tonking
For sure,
those
yeah.
2 sixes of Arshdeep, for bowling those dollies, for Sandwich and Noble to get my prediction of 113.
Wait, that's the first. This is the first
One
time.
second.
Yeah.
One
So are you
second.
claiming? Are you claiming?
1 second, Vikas just confirmed.
Yeah. If you could just confirm for us, we've already.
We'll
told,
give Vikas time
Yeah.
because of course he has to peer to the previous watch along. But
So-
I strangely remember asking you guys your predictions and reading out the ones prior, and I think he's right.
Yeah, he could. very well
Santosh
be.
Udapa is right,
He's
and
on it.
another merchandise for Mr.
Congrats.
Udapa. Oh
Congratulations,
my
Santosh.
word,
Just take away all the merch.
Santosh! If you're on Instagram, tag us in your stories.
Abbe,
because-
yaar, run out there.
Oh
run
my
out
God!
there,
Go back! Go
Big!
back! Go
Abbe,
back!
yaar,
Oh
he's-
my word!
Yeah.
What the hell's happening there? I
This
just
is-
looked up.
This is
Oh my God! And he's
village
like that.
cricket at the village. Like what? How on earth? Both like Gaikwad had given up. He'd given up.
Yes, no,
Both were-
yes, no.
oh,
This is a
man.
comedy whereas they both come back and they both go back, and then Jaiswal goes
Jeez,
back, and then
man.
Gaikwad
This is
goes back.
Stupid
Woo!
cricket from both sides. Can't believe Gaikwad. I'm pretty sure even Gaikwad himself can't believe that he survived this. He was
Is it-
almost chatting with Jaiswal there at the other end. And
I mean, it's a comedy of errors, but even it's kind of schoolboy-esque from Ireland. It's these kind of soft opportunities that they need, which goes against the run of play to get an early inroad, to build pressure. That was their opportunity, but they've not taken it. So look, let's see how it progresses from now, because Josh Little, who of course plays for the Gujarat Titans, is continuing in the second over. By the way, keep your comments coming through. We'll try to be as vivacious and energetic as we were in the first watch along.
Yeah.
We've just done a swap seat. There's
Yeah.
nothing to it essentially. But I want to ask you guys a couple of questions, right? Essentially, with this batting order, how would you like to kind of see it come to fruition? Would you send Sanju if there's a dismissal in case a right-hander gets out? If Gaikwad gets out, Sanju comes in. If Jaiswal gets out, Tilak comes in. Would you do that? Oh, what a ball that is! Has that taken the edge?
I thought it clipped his pad. I'm not
Oh
sure. if it
my
got in,
word,
but That
we
was a
thought-
ball.
We saw Arshdeep Singh swing the ball.
But this cut him in half.
It cut him in half brilliantly, and they've reviewed it.
Yeah, let's
Paul
see.
Sterling has reviewed it. Artip shouldn't be in the team. So inconsistent. I'm sorry how many no balls and wides he's bowled in his limited
True,
career.
true,
Us in the right. I mean, people are starting to lose their shit with him with those two particular remarks. I think if you look at Arshdeep's pros and cons, pros is like great bowler, all format,
Fantastic
left
Yorker.
armour, fantastic Yorker, cool Sardar, everything. And then the cons, no balls wides.
Way too many no balls and wides. That's the problem. Like
Yeah.
way too many.
So your first con is wide, second con is no balls, third con is way too many wides.
True,
And
because
both
it's
are
way
big.
too many, way too often. That's the problem. Is that's clear daylight.
Oh, it's
of course.
daylight.
It's clipped the pad probably. Has it? Yeah, it has. It seems
Clip
like
the
it has.
Adidas logo actually.
Yeah.
It's clipped the Adidas logo.
But yeah, coming back to the Indian batting order question that you brought up.
Yeah.
Personally, this is again, of course,
We
Nick's
have to, man.
couldn't
Nicks.
agree with you more.
And apologies to Nix and Gurkirat as well. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys are really well-renowned experts at cricket.com. So if you guys are watching Gurkirat, have your dinner, relax, and come back in the 10th over. We'll try to meander the conversation till then. Most no balls for India in T20s. 16 Arshdeep Singh already overtaking the likes of Bumrah and Chahal. So, I mean, he's doubled Bumrah
And,
and
he's
he's
played.
triple Chahal.
Yeah, he's played only 2 years of international cricket at best. Bumrah and Chahal have been playing at least 6 to 7 years of international cricket. Goes on to show how I'm not sure if inconsistent is the right word, but yeah, he doesn't have control over his feet or even his hands for that matter. So that's something really to look out for Paris Mamre.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's just jumping into the comments about Arshdeep's particular form, which is a worrying territory, saying Sanjay Papiguri. Since that LSG game, he's not looked the same. I understand your sentiment, but again, let's not, of course, just throw daggers when everything's kind of going on peacefully. Let's
True.
give the boy a couple of more games and then go mad upon him. I know the agreed sentiment on the watchalongs and in public and at large, he should really curtail those extras.
That's
And that's the only thing that I
Yeah,
would
and
say.
by the way, speaking of LSG, I'm not.
I don't agree with you, Sagar. I mean, both are kind of young, hungry, and they will be selfish.
Uh, all
That's
right,
true.
all right. Yeah, let's not.
I mean, I'm not a Jaiswal advocate. Sorry to be aggressive, but good to see you, Sagar Chandra. Really good to see you in
But
the
yeah,
comments.
speaking of LSG, did you get to know the latest update from the LSG camp? Gambhir's been let go of.
Oh my word.
So are you fine with LSG or
And who's taken over?
and MSK Prasad? Yesterday they announced MSK Prasad as their chief strategic advisor, consultant, some random gibberish.
So Gumby's got the axe.
Yeah, that's the news. That's the latest update. They haven't announced anything
Oh
officially
my
though, but
god!
that's
I
the
just
news.
thought, like, just when you thought the RCB LSG
rivalry
was
yeah,
like,
building
blossoming and building
Oh,
up
that's
and
a fall.
mushrooming,
Oh, no.
it's just taken away from us. So no Hessin, no Gambhir.
Yeah, and Fla has jumped ships
Yeah.
from
So let us know, LSG fans, if there are any.
that.
RCB fans have
yeah,
been plenty.
of course, of being the operative word. Yeah, do let us know what do you make of MSK Prasad, because he's never ever been a part of any team, any setup, like as part of the think tank.
Yeah,
Like he's famously known for being India's selector.
correct.
Of course, the 3D jibe and all of that. All of you must have heard.
And of course, on cricket.com, we've had MSK before on the
Because
platform.
yep.
We've
As
had
a
him
former
before on the
expert,
platform.
that
So
was actually good.
he was a selector during the time when we answered some pertinent questions in the build-up to the 2021 World Cup, I think it was. But yeah, I mean, it'll be good to see how he really takes over that role, chief strategic advisor.
Yeah.
I know that they have Justin Langer there. I know, of course, that they've just let go of Andy Flower as well and
Yep.
Gambhir.
Yep.
So it's a complete different personnel who's going to be taking over. But look, only time will tell how they kind of go about their things. But that was just a little bit of insight and news for you guys on this Friday evening. Now, 15 balls into this India second innings chase of 140. And so far, it's a little bit steady because there's been a lot of assistance. There's been a lot of assistance for the seamers, and that's wrapped him quite heavy and higher up in the hand.
Yep. By the way, we again, unfortunately, weren't able to continue on the conversation about India's top order. So Samson, like you mentioned, could potentially come in case Gaikwad gets out to maintain the left-hand, right-hand combination.
Yeah.
But I'm still not sure if that's the right way of going about it. This is a chat we had even during the West Indies tour.
Correct.
Since India don't have a fixed number three, like fixed batter for the number three role, who would they be going for? And we rightly discussed that probably going for Samson isn't the right idea, because in the long term, if he's going to play the finisher's role, then they shouldn't simply send him in at number three in the Ireland series.
True.
I'll stick by it. I don't mind having two left-handers in the middle. It's not that big an issue. It's not something that people haven't had to contend with or face. It's fine. I'd rather have Tilak Verma, I'm guessing, would be the next best option for the number three slot. Just have him. Just push everyone a spot up. So what, number three, Tilak, number four, who do we have? There's Dubey, there's Rinku, Samson. Yeah, Samson would come in at number five. Oh, there's Washi, correct. And yeah, then it's Arshdeep, of course.
Arshdeep, Bumrah, and Prasidh. So essentially, the way I'm looking at it, right, and I might have a tinge Sanju Samson bias here. I would want Sanju to walk in at 3, just to steady the ship, get some runs in the spell. Cool.
But there's no point
Tilak
getting
at 4.
runs in at number 3, right?
Because I know. But just in terms of his form, bro, let him get his scene back, because even in West Indies, a couple of unlucky run-of-the-play dismissals against him. I would want Sanju 3, and then I would go for back-to-back. Then I just go all lefties.
Because that's the only option
we have. That's the only option we have.
True.
But I'll tell you in what order as well. So Sanju next, and then I'd like to see Tilak, and then Shivam Dubey, and then Rinku at 6. For sure. MSK Prasad bringing in more 3D players, saying Sanjay Papigiri. Sanjay, I'll tell you one thing. The fact that India normally kind of always had specialists, it's good to have people with 3 sets of skills.
True. Agreed. Completely.
Like today, we also saw Sundar have a bowl, which is obviously like expectable.
Yeah.
Dubey having a bowl is really, really good. Just so he can just see how he fits in as a bowling option. I'm not saying he's a must bank on 2 over bowler every time, but just gives you options on those uneven surfaces in the Caribbean,
Yeah,
can pack a
yeah.
punch. He was in my World T20. I'm not just saying this because he got picked today, but even if you
Oh,
rewind to the
shot.
previous
Yeah,
watchalongs, he was in my
screamed that
T20. What a shot that is!
through
I
the
mean,
point
sometimes.
Wow.
I mean, I know Virat Kohli has the best cover drive in the game without a shadow of a doubt. But even Gaikwad has a really good square drive.
True.
Very, very good square drive. Bring Gambhir to RCB. There'll be an inter-team rivalry in the IPL for the first time. And interested to see Kohli and Gambhir
Oh, wow.
against Naveen next time.
How they turn tables.
And imagine Naveen gets pocketed by RCB.
This is something we'd actually spoken about even during the IPL.
Yeah.
Like, there's a very good chance in a couple of years, Naveen Ulhaq in the RCB setup along with Kohli. Not something we haven't seen before. We've seen Bhaji Simons play together. We've
Exactly.
seen Krunal Deepak last year play together after that fight. What would have been interesting is to see MSK and Rayudu together, man. Because they go back, they go a long way back. It's not just the 2019 World Cup. They had a huge fight between.
But he should have become chief strategic advisor of that St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots.
Oh, interesting. By the way, they are run by an Indian guy, Adhish Rangarajan, something like that. So it is run by an Indian biz. Oh,
really?
Yeah.
That's insane.
By the way, Chachan says, I must say that RCB has appointed the best coach going around, while LSG just went away with what social media floats in. True. I mean, this is something we spoke about during the Monday Night Live. Make sure you've got that. The second episode of Monday Night Live was pretty much all about RCB, Andy Flower, what he brings to the table, and a lot more.
And a lot more, including this man and his genuine thoughts as an RCB fan on Mike Hesson.
Yep.
And how unfortunate it was to him to bite the bullet. So we didn't expect Hesson to be sacked, even though we heard that from the fans at Chinnaswamy when I was doing IPL fan cams and all of that. So look, I mean, people have their own opinions and they're entitled to their own opinions, like you guys are on this watch along. So keep them coming through. Sushant going on to say, I must say that RCB, or he just read that. But essentially, I just was going to go back to the whole batting chat right now.
Okay.
With India. And which youngster, right? There's so many of them, namely Tilak, Rinku. I'm putting Dubey in the youngster category as well, even though he made his T20 debut, what was it, 4 or 5 years ago now? Which youngster do you think is looking at the series and like this is a make or break for him?
Samson, possibly, to be honest. Not exactly a youngster, but him failing the series would have serious repercussions when it comes to his international career. He's already had a fairly lackluster West Indies tour where he had only single-digit scores, if I'm not wrong, in the T20I series. So that'll be very important. So it'll be very important for him to get some runs under his belt.
That's true.
So Samson is a name that comes to my mind. I don't think anyone else is really in
Jaiswal?
No, I'm pretty sure even if he has a
Gaikwad?
No.
Because Gaikwad has been kind of getting series, but then again not performing and then being dropped and then
not
again
performing. He's hardly got in games. Ishan Kishan
didn't he play that South Africa home series? Gaikwad, ODIs and T20s.
Yeah, he did. Wait, did he though? Ishan and Gaikwad opened?
Yeah, both of them.
All right. Yeah.
By the way, Pranav going on to say 2 current West Indies players who had a cameo
in
a movie. First answer is Tejra, and most of you got that right. Who's the other one?
Kyron Pollard is what I said. I know he played.
Patiala House.
Yeah, in Patiala House he did. Akshay Kumar did bowl to him. I'm pretty sure of that. Pargat Singh Kallon. That was the name.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I'm trying to think of any other West Indian players who've. Do you think of any?
Terms of. Was there anyone in victory?
There should be. Victory में West Indies तो होगा ही.
Harman Bavija.
नहीं, West Indies नहीं खेला क्या? Vijay Shekhawat was busy only hitting, top league nations. Yeah, Brett Lee, Murli, Chamindavas.
Yeah.
Maybe Vijay Shekhawat is the batter we need for the Indian team.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You let us know in the comments.
Yeah, run a campaign. By the way, Pranav Anand, thank you for bringing that up once again. So, time for us also to make another plugin probably about Goomer.
About Goomer, of course. And by the way, India 22 for none, 4.1, not 13 for none, 2 overs. But that's just a little update that we're giving you guys. And we'll, of course, give you real-time scores going forward. Did Chandrakant Pandit have any coaching experience before becoming KKR's coach? MSK Prasad would be as good as Chandrakant.
Santosh bhai, Madhya Pradesh ko jitaya tha yaar.
Of course, bro. He's honestly being compared as like Arsene Wenger of the Ranji League.
True. He's considered to be a hard taskmaster. He's not exactly.
And it's not just Madhya Pradesh, right? He's done it everywhere else, I think.
Everywhere else, hasn't?
He's gone to like Vidarbha. He's gone somewhere.
Yeah. He is very, very, very popular in the Mumbai coaching circles.
Yeah.
He's very well renowned even amongst the players.
In terms of top pedigree in the domestic circles, he's one of the best names over there. So Good question. Look, even the best might get it wrong. Santosh, of course. Vasant saying Tilak should be given a chance in this game. Samson's inconsistent. The scene, the present. More games Tilak has greater good for India. In future, we can think about Samson. I also agree with that, Vasant. That's why I'm saying Tilak should come in at 4 or albeit 1 down. So I don't mind Sanju and Tilak batting whichever position, 3 or 4, 4 or 3. They'll figure it out. But right now, I think India playing safe. They're not going to go playing kamikaze cricket because also there is assistance for the seamers. Barry McCarthy is pretty well and all of that.
And the umbrellas are out, by the way.
Oh my God, the
Could be a
umbrellas
slight drizzle. DLS pass scores are also out.
Yeah,
India
for sure.
need to be 27 at the end of this over, which is just 3 balls away. What are the odds? India doesn't score 27. It starts raining. It starts pouring at the end of the 5th over. And game ends. Ireland win by, I don't know, 1 or 2 runs.
Oh my word.
Because if you remember, Ireland defeated England in the 2022
in a similar
World
manner.
Cup, yeah.
But I don't think that'll happen. But let's see how it goes.
Sure.
Do you think this will be the make or break series for both Arshdeep and Sanju? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think essentially there will be another couple of series, I feel, for Sanju at some point in time. And if he makes this and those count, then great. Arshdeep is still a lot of cricket because there's age on his side, so on and so forth. But he mentioned something. And normally we associate Friday with blockbuster movies and movies. And this Friday, in your closest theater, there is, of course, Ghumar, a movie which is, of course, is already out, I should say. And you're
sure, Hai Chakkar.
And you're wondering, oh, and he smashed that out of the park, Hrithviraj Gaikwad, just like Ghumar, and how the cast have in the acting and the storyline and all of that. Now, points to note here. You might be wondering, why the hell are you guys in the cricket.com watch-along talking about Ghumar, a movie which is, of course, talking about all things positive. A, we like to talk about all things positive. B, cricket.com is one of the actors in Ghumar, if I have to put it that way. We've got some good screen presence. You can find us in the movie if you guys know, you know. So you have to watch the movie to tell us how many times you saw cricket.com in the movie.
And where, which scenes, exactly.
Which scenes. We're going to have like contests for that as well. So check that out. And Ghumar is definitely a must watch in all aspects. He said it right now. If you guys missed it, it's been 14 years since Junior Bachchan and Senior Bachchan have been in a movie together. So all you Bachchan fans, brilliant. Honestly, we should ask Nix because we posed him as Jaya Bachchan.
Oh, wow, so, that's actually a good point, though.
Good point. But look, Ghumar to watch this weekend, make it on your bucket list. Do you think India should be worried about their numbers versus slow left arm? Or is it the strike rate of 119 since 2022? No one in sight passes that kind. So keeping that in mind, you prefer Dubey in the 11 over Samson. I essentially, in my dream 11 for the World Cup next year, Dubey slots in. And I want him to be used exactly like how MS Dhoni used him. Play situation by situation, at times bat 1 down, at times come and just like implode in the middle overs.
But with Dubey, the problem is he has a very, very, very clear weakness against pace. Against high pace in general. Like Hardlands, of course, but even if you bowl full term as a pacer, Dubey doesn't really do much about it. He, like, unless you're bowling absolute junk, filthy junk, pacers...
No, I understand. I understand every batter if you look at it that way, right?
But I have another name.
Even if you look at the best batters in the world, your Virat Kohlis, your Joss Butlers, your Skies.
Wow, so Virat, Joss, Dubey in the same...
No, I'm saying every batter has a chink in their armor.
Sure.
Like how you pointed out multiple times, Jadeja can't bat against spin. Dubey can't bat against pace.
All right.
Fair point.
But this I do agree.
Virat can't take on spin early on in his T20 innings.
Dubey gets out repeatedly. That's the difference. This IPL, he did show a market difference, a market change. That's for sure. Great for him. But it's still something.
But that's like Sky getting out to left arm spinners and ODIs.
But with Sky, it's not like getting in a... like. I mean, the odds of Dubey getting out to a pacer are a lot higher than Sky getting out to a slow.
Yeah, but again, we're talking about pretty much Dubey's IPL career compared to how he'll fare in the international scheme of things. I know he's got a couple of games, but I still think we can throw him in there.
I mean, I would look at Jitesh Sharma as a better option because pace spin he
from a batting perspective, but I just think if you play Shivam Dubey, I was gonna say other names. If you play Shivam Dubey at 8 also. Why not?
At 8?
Fuck it.
A specialist batter at number 8. His
repeat
bowling, no.
You can bowl one over.
Not 1 over also. I wouldn't. Bumrah gave an over to him, great, but no, he's not an all-rounder at the international level. There's no way his bowling can
But did you
survive.
like his role in CSK?
Agreed, but not everyone's a Dhoni. Not everyone can pull off a
No,
Dhoni.
but I'm saying, but here with Shivam Dube, I don't think there's a defined set batting position for him. And I don't think he comes off as a bowler.
Oh,
like you
is
rightly said.
it?
No, drifting, not out. Drifting down leg,
Jeez.
for
It looked
sure.
pretty close though.
It looked pretty close. I don't think they're going to burn another review, are they?
Yeah, the only review that is because they've already burnt one.
Yeah, they burnt one.
So yeah, guys, please make sure.
They're burning
keep
another
the comments
one.
Coming in. Oh, they've taken a review.
Yeah, because it initial glance, it looked definitely drifting down leg side. But Paul Sterling goes upstairs. So let's see if Jaiswal is dismissed. Like we saw how they overturned the decision in the first innings for Bishnoi to get his wicket. This is another LBW shout. And Jaiswal hasn't had the best of innings so far, 17 balls for his 14, and India 35 for none. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. We apologize to that earlier technical glitch that we visited, but I think right now everything is sorted. And as you can see, the brand new cricket.com app is being refurbished for you guys. Download it right now, and you guys can get active with us there as well. Check out our data digest, check out our videos, our written analysis, our articles, our features. It's quite brilliant, and it's a smooth interface, like you can see. And it is the best app for anything cricket. So that's something to consider.
Oh, there's bat.
And there's bat on that as well, inside edge. So two good decisions from the umpire, barring that Bishnoi one, which everyone would have got wrong.
Two good decisions there, but our viewers haven't yet made the correct decision. 20 of you watching this, 10 likes. Guys, please make sure you guys are liking the stream. That's the only way more viewers get to know. That's how YouTube works. Make sure all of you have also subscribed to the channel. I know we sound like a broken record, but we have to do the drill. You guys also know the drill, so please make sure you're doing that.
Spot on. Yep. And just generally going forward, guys, always be alert to any T20. We're doing Watchalong. Yep. So keep your alarms.
India T20I.
Any India T20, I should be specific. Good that you caught me out. Jaiswal really struggling. But look at how much it's moving, Sagar. Look at the pace assistance that Josh Little, Barry McCarthy, and Mark Adair have got in this 5.3 overs. It's no surprise they're sticking with pace. Unlike India, who bowled 1 over Bishnoi in conditions not conducive to spin, but it did turn.
It did turn. Also, to add to what Sagar has said, agree the conditions are a bit tricky out there, but he's not even seemed like he's timed the ball yet. Might also be because he's coming off a West Indies series where it was slightly more slow, sluggish, and all of that. It takes time to get used to, new surfaces, new conditions. So let's give him some time. Of course, time is all he needs, and that's a boundary. And the camera lens did show a couple of drops. So could be rizzling already, and India, I'm pretty sure, are ahead of the DLS pass score right now.
Brilliant. What a shot that was. 39 for none. Taking Sagar's comments right now. 2 balls before the power play. Not on basis of strike rate, just that haven't seen Gaikwad getting trouble, but Jaiswal in almost 2 or 3 balls has some issues. I agree with that. But look, essentially, you look at also certain factors, right? And he mentioned a couple, getting used to surfaces and so on and so forth. Also, if you weigh them pound for pound, flesh for flesh, Gaikwad and Jaiswal, both really enterprising, both really attractive to watch, but one is clearly more technically sound than the other. And I know it's an unfair comparison between a lefty and a righty, but I generally feel Gaikwad is well equipped with, being the sound, proper, technical guy. And Jaiswal, because he wants to experiment in more funky, that's why you're more susceptible to playing a proper delivery.
I mean, this is why I would say looks can be deceptive. Agreed. He has a more classical...
I mean, that's just my opinion. You guys might differ, but...
Oh, shot,
buddy. That's huge. That's out of here. That's out of Malahide. And that's some way to end the power play, because Josh Little is shaking his head in disdain, and rightly so, because a long hop and he's been punished away, rightly so. None for 45. 45 for none, India. Yep. I was nearly saying it like an Australian.
An excellent power play, given the scheme of things. 140 is what they're chasing. Yeah, they did start off slow, but the last 2 overs they got 20 plus runs. If I'm not wrong, and that's great for them. Who do you think? I mean, will Ireland go to? Because right now, in terms of spin,
I think they'll introduce Dockrell.
Dockrell, by the way, isn't as...
Oh yeah, you said he's reinvented himself. So what about Curtis Camphor?
He's a medium pacer again. They've got a leg spinner in Ben White, someone I'm looking forward to, someone I wanted to watch even in the World Cup qualifiers that happened in Zimbabwe. Unfortunately, didn't get a game. Mark Adair, your lad.
Mark Adair to continue. And Mark Adair, if you guys missed it in the first innings of the Watchalong, I told you guys that he's 3 wickets away to become the first Irish cricketer to get
Yes.
100 T20 international wickets. And Mark Adair is also one of those guys who lit up that European qualifiers for Ireland to make the World Cup later next year. So,
beg your pardon, it's Craig Young.
oh, it's
another
Craig
pacer
Young,
though.
another pacer. So they're playing the extra pacer. They've left out, I think, who was it? Neil Rock as a balance.
Yeah, that's from a while back since because the last.
But there are other couple of Irish names who we've kind of been privy to see over the years. Simi Singh comes to mind.
Oh yeah, wow.
He's not playing this one.
He's not playing, but Simi Singh, yeah.
Simi Singh, again, the slow option
Yeah,
in the middle.
True,
and of
true.
course,
Not a bad option at all.
Then
Who else? Yeah, come on. I would like to see. I'd like to test or rather
my
see
Irish
your
knowledge.
game. Yeah.
My Irish knowledge tells me that, I mean, I like the Irish legend who, of course, doesn't play this format, Tim Murter,
Oh wow.
who's brilliant. Who's
Man,
up-
how is
Oh!
it? Catch
And
kar le,
Young
bhai, catch kar
might be
le.
the first pacer to get a wicket. And Jaiswal, I think, premeditated that. He tried to come down the track, but Craig Young just fired it in and got a wicket, more importantly. So Jaiswal has to walk back for, all right, okay, 24 of 23. And he tried to take him on, and this is what happens. It's a hostile sport, this T20, because sometimes you can get into a little rut. And I'm not saying this innings was a rut from Jaiswal, but 24 from 23 doesn't really kind of
Unfortunately,
have anything to write home about. Jaiswal's range of strokes is amazing. Treat to watch, saying in respect. Absolutely. The cut shot that he played today and the prance down the wicket to hit it through extra cover for 4 was brilliant. Off a pacer, by the way. So you can tell that this boy loves pace and all of that. So Jaiswal goes. It'll be interesting to see if they send Sanju or left-hander, because they have 4 of them.
Okay, it's Jaiswal out, so it's even more likely that they bring in a left-hander now.
I'd say, what is SPL 2023?
Saurashtra Premier League.
No ways,
What,
man.
this is not the first season. It's been going on for a while.
So we have right now the TNPL, the Maharashtra Premier League, the APL, the Andhra Premier League, which is out, the Maharashtra Premier League, which is also out.
Yeah.
Now the Saurashtra Premier League.
It's been out. Saurashtra has been there for a while now. This is the 3rd or 4th season, if I'm not wrong.
Oh my word. Do we have the OPL, Odisha Premier League?
I'm not sure. Odisha, Jharkhand Premier League was
Basta, please let us know if the Odisha Premier League is happening anytime soon.
True. I mean, we've had a Mumbai T20 League. We've had a Jharkhand Premier League where Varun Aaron hit 4 sixes in the last over to win his team the game, to chase down.
Varun Aaron.
Number 11. This is way back like...
Oh, God!
Tilak's gone! First ball duck!
And it's a leg side stranglehold. How often have you seen even the best, the best batters have perished with a little tickle down the leg side? And that's exactly what's happened. And Tilak Verma, I mean, essentially, this is a classic case of what they say in Indian households. Nazar.
Kiski nazar?
Uski nazar, bhai. India's next big thing. Tilak Verma, Tilak Lagwao, Verma, Suresh Raina, Bhagwan hai. And ho gaya. And I go for the same Jai Shah. Every time I just think of Jai Shah. Sorry, by the way, this is not like the most pleasing things you should do on video.
You're talking so much about Joy Bike. See who is being promoted by. Come on, cut them
some slack. Come on.
For sure.
But wow, I mean, double breakthrough and
true.
I'll tell you what, I mean, it's just been exuberance of youth from the young man of Ireland.
Wow. Had to get that out, huh?
Had to get that out. For sure. But look, jokes apart, who do they send in now?
Dube is who I would go to. But again, a lot of umbrellas out. I'm not sure if it's drizzling.
Patrick Ball as well. And Sanju Samson comes out without a sweater.
Imagine if Sanju gets
He's
out.
in the mood.
If Sanju gets out now, man. Hat-trick Ball. That's even more.
By the way, Ireland have taken a hat-trick.
Curtis Campbell. 4 and 4.
4 and 4.
Yeah, versus Netherlands.
So it'll be their second hat-trick if we do see a hat-trick from Ireland. I'm guessing. Have they got another T20 international hat-trick?
If I'm not wrong, they do. This could be the third.
Pramod/Anirudh, let us know in the comments. Some sensational bowling from this young, very clever. Yeah, I tell you, these young people are very clever, dude. Again, one of those silly jokes.
But Samson, yeah, man. Like, imagine Samson getting out. Because, there's the pressure of him not having had a great season.
But Samson brings a vast... Oh, my God, it is pouring.
It's pouring, yeah.
And I don't know, these double wickets could push India back in the DLS.
Oh, that's actually a good point. I'm very curious to see what the DLS pass score.
Patrick Ball.
Ooh.
See, Samson always has experience to deal with young bowlers.
Someone just please get the DLS pass score out. Are they going out? No, they aren't. They aren't. 2 balls to go. They probably waited for
Two
the end
balls
of
to
the
go.
over.
But the
It's pouring.
Malahide,
It's
it's pouring.
Yeah.
Everything setting up for a Rinku Singh finish, Lol Singh, Pranav.
Well,
Everything setting up to be a damn squib right now because even if you peer,
oh man, India's 3 runs ahead. They need a wicket. They need a wicket to go behind.
oh my god.
Our producer right now, the stairs, the ugly stairs he's given me
The
just
ugly
now.
stairs.
Oh man.
The umbrellas are out. It seems like more than just a Bangalore drizzle there in
Yeah.
Dublin. And Craig Young is taking his own time. You gotta hurry up, son. You gotta hurry up. You guys are under the pump.
You've got to calm down. You've
Oh
got to
my
calm down.
word. The
The
Irish must be
umbrellas are
pulling
out
their
there. The knives
hair.
are out behind the camera. Let's see. Oh,
Now, but
man.
one sec, there's another ball. So what is the pass go?
That's
Or are
at
they
the end
going
of the
off?
over. That's at the end of the
Oh
over.
no, he's not going off. He's saying one for the
Yeah,
over.
yeah. Just finish it. Just finish it. Come on, Gaikwad. Come on, Gaikwad.
I don't think because
Wicket.
who our
Wicket.
producer is for tonight has seen anything like that. He saw the umpire and he's like, what
Yeah.
the hell's happening? The
Come
umpire
on.
is calling one for the over when he should literally be signaling, get on
Yeah, but
with
it's
it.
pouring. Yeah, they are. They probably are. They probably are going right now because it's pouring. It's really dangerous for the bowler, the fielders. It's really hard to play.
No,
Why are you wasting
no!
time?
He's wasting more time.
Oh man.
Oh my
Typical
word.
old-
47 for 2, 6.5, and the rain has intervened.
Yep. But India.
India are front by the skin of their teeth.
Yep. Unfortunately, man, they've only.
Oh
Boundary
my
here
word.
and there, and wow, Ireland would have been ahead, and that would have been great entertainment. To see.
Seriously, that is quite ridiculous. The last one over, we saw some drama with those 2 wickets falling and then the rain ushering in. I think it's a passing shot, but as soon
Two
as I say
runs
that,
ahead. They're just 2
oh
runs.
my word, oh my
man.
word, oh my word. That's 6 of Gaikwad. I mean, that shot that
True,
Jaiswal played
true.
was quite brilliant. So, look, India just like Akshay said, have their nose in front in terms of the DLS par score here. The par score, India had to be 45 and more. They're 47 for 2. So if it ends like this and we don't get a single ball in this remaining first T20 international, India will pick up the win and go 1-0 up. But right now, by the looks of things, it's a passing cloud. But I say that, Akshay, with no conviction whatsoever, because every time I look down on my phone, the last time I checked, and I checked the weather forecast in Dublin, the 90% precipitation is finally struck.
True.
Do you get a good feeling? Do you think we're going to see more cricket, or do you think it's going to be rain?
Yeah, I mean, based on what the rain forecast had to say, it seems like we're out for a long day.
Oh my
we're in for a
word.
long day. Sorry. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's not pouring anymore right now. In fact, it's probably even stopped. Has it?
It's stopped, but it's very
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I think they'll have to kind of take in the ground conditions as well. If there are no small little puddles or
Puddles, true.
all of that, because I think that'll come under the umpire's ambit. But right now, the talking point of India's innings so far, nothing really, but essentially 24 of 23 from Jaiswal. Gaikwad's still there, 19 of 16, and Tilak Varma surprisingly first ball duck.
Yeah.
Right. So
The players are out, but we've got Nix and Gurkirat coming in to
brilliant.
give us some company. So let's have them on board.
Yeah, I think it's a brief little small break here, but we can get and Gurkirat on as we speak. Gentlemen, good to see you again. Good to see you again, not just hear you. If you guys know, you know. 47 for 2. Now, there's a plenty of things to ask you. I'll start with the openers, Nix. What did you make of their respective knocks so far?
I think they tried to play the situation well. I don't think it is as easy as it may seem to have. And Barry McCarthy was hitting sixes for fun. So there were balls that Little and others got to move off the deck. So Jaiswal clearly looked more scratchy as compared to Gaikwad, I felt, who probably got a bit more, I don't know, get off strike kind of balls. So in that regards, I think as much as they could do, they tried their best. Jaiswal got a very good ball and he skied it. And Tilak Verma had a, I don't know, forgettable. It's okay. You get those.
Yeah.
Gurkirat, every best batter I've seen in cricket history, correct me if I'm wrong, has been succumbed to the leg side stranglehold, and Tilak Verma as well. Innocuous.
Not every best batter. I think anyone who's ever held a bat
Yeah.
in the game of cricket, regardless of what level it might be. And yeah, that for me personally, it's the second most frustrating way to get out first. Obviously, I don't want to say by now everyone should know that. Whosoever watches the show, if you don't, then yeah. But
He
yeah,
left
I mean,
by the way, and Munkading, but runouts first.
no, I Mankading is still okay, but run out is just yeah. But yeah, I mean it's a very frustrating dismissal, and it's bound to happen someday to any batter. And today it was Tilak Verma's turn to face it. But yeah, I felt that Jaiswal was trying to force the issue a little too much. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he was trying to get ahead of the DLS score. But yeah, I mean, so far India wouldn't really complain. I'm happy that Ruturaj didn't get run out when that mix-up happened, because he's someone who's struggling to get a lot of chances because of the traffic jam at the top, and it would have been extremely unfortunate that you finally get a chance and you are run out while you are trying to sacrifice, or save the wicket of your partner. So happy for him. Hopefully, the player resumes and he's able to put up a substantial score.
Guys, I just want to ask you one particular question, and I asked you this earlier. Which youngster will be feeling the most nervous right now in terms of using this three T20s as an opportunity to greater things? I know you said, I mean, not a youngster, but you said Samson. Nix, do you have anyone in mind who they'll be thinking, if I perform well in these three T20 internationals, it might not be the best thing ever, but it does me really good? Who are they?
I think Arshdeep comes to my mind immediately.
Yeah.
I think he needs a good end. I think he did bowl well in the over presiding the last one, where he was able to execute his plans. But in the last one, he missed his mark, and it's been a problem with him for a while now. And again, control the controllables with the extras. I think he's bowled the most no balls now, 16 of sorts,
Yeah.
highest for India already. So that tells you that that's a controllable that he'll want to do better at. And because he is more likely to bowl in the end overs and with the high economy, I think the process is where I think there is some work to be done in terms of what are his best options. Because when he gets it right, we know he gets it very bang on, as he did in Vankade very, very famously. But when he doesn't, he does go the distance. So I think that's the one player who I feel will be very eager to get put things right. One guy who I think will be relishing this and hoping that he gets more games is Bishnoi. Because I think he's been bowling well whenever he's got little chances. Took two crucial wickets today. So, and my vice captain, so good to plug it in. But yeah,
Gurkirat, anyone else you feel, or do you think he's spot on in Arshdeep and Bishnoi? Because I agree with Nick's entirely here.
Yeah, I mean, with Bishnoi, with Arshdeep, uh, during the IPL, you felt that he wanted to add the bouncer and even the slower delivery on a few occasions. But now that India are back to playing internationals, that bouncer isn't really happening a lot. I mean, he's trying to bowl wide from the arc of the batter. My mind goes back to the first T20I versus West Indies, where he got, I think, Rovman Powell out like that, bowling wide. But yes, I think it's important, and I think he himself realizes it too, that just Yorkers cannot be the way to go. He has to mix it up. I really hope that he, probably it's an issue of confidence when it comes to bowling the bouncer, or maybe he thinks that it could turn into a wide, but he should really bowl the bouncer far more often than what he's doing at the death, because with just Yorkers it's not going to be sustainable. As far as Bishnoi is concerned, I said it yesterday in my show that the only reason why I'm having Bishnoi at 8 instead of a Shahbaz Ahmed, or having Washington Sundar at 8 is because I want Bishnoi to get chances. And this series is very important. If Bishnoi does well, who knows that India may finally, have him ahead in the pecking order, ahead of someone like Yuzvendra Chahal, because I really feel that India have also not handled him well in the shortest format for sure. Even in ODI, he's got one game versus South Africa. It was the first ODI, and then he was dropped, just like how Rutu was dropped. So important series for both of these players.
Yeah, I think he's spot on because it makes you think about the bowlers. And even if you look at the bowling scorecard today from India, two-piece for Bumrah, two-piece for Prasidh, and two for Bishnoi as well. But who do you think benefited the most today? Was it Prasidh, or do you think it's Bumrah because he's just back after so long?
I mean, yeah, we just wanted to catch a glimpse of Bumrah. Prasidh in the T20I setup isn't something I'm sure uh, will happen in the long term. I was genuinely surprised when I saw him part of the T20I squad. I personally don't look at him that way. I think he's really like his action, his natural lens, all of that would make him a very, very.
But then
very
why play him
good.
at all?
I was like I said, that's what really surprised me, and I also don't rate him. I don't rate Prasidh Krishna, the T20. I mean the T20 bowler a lot compared to who we have in terms of our bench strength. And yeah, so great. He also had a fairly, I mean, his first few overs were good, but when he came back at the death, he got hit for what 15 runs, if I'm not wrong, in the final over. So who gained the most in the first innings? I would actually go to Barry McCarthy. Let's talk about Ireland's batting. Of course, India's bowling was
Barry McCarthy. I mean, honestly, apparently Pramod said he's the only batter in the international game to score 100 at 9.
Yeah.
In ODIs, was it?
That's what Pramod said.
That's what Pramod said. So he again really exceeded expectations today. 51 of 33.
Yeah.
Take to them to 139. But I just want to go back to India's bowlers, right? Because it just makes me think, or not just the bowlers, guys. And Gurkirat, Nix, you guys come in here as well. Out of these three guys today in the starting 11, who has the most chance to make it to the 11 or the 15? And I want to know between Shivam Dube, Prasidh Krishna, and Washington Sundar, who are the most likely out of these individuals to make it to that World Cup squad? Is it Washington Sundar because we don't have another off spinner right now apart from Ashwin? Is it Shivam Dube because he packs a punch and we saw what he did in CSK colours? Or is it someone like Prasidh Krishna who can
You're talking about the ODI World Cup, right?
T20 World Cup?
T20 World Cup. Okay.
Yeah.
Out of these,
So I feel for Dube it might just be a little too early. Also, I would have liked to see him at 4 today, because that is the role in which he succeeded for Chennai. And if you look at India's T20 batting, their biggest issue has been slow left arm orthodox. And they struggled against left arm spin. It was evident even in the series versus West Indies. And if you look at Shivam Dube's numbers versus slow left arm orthodox, he's been outstanding against him. In the IPL, he was smashing all kinds of spin to all parts of the ground. So I really wanted him to come in at 4 today, and rather than be a designated number 6, which how India have kept him in the batting order. I didn't
understand
really
that.
want.
If he has to go and tell Rahul Dravid and the captain, whoever that might be, Hardik Pandya, saying I want, assuming Rahul Dravid stays, how does he go and present his case, Gurkirat? The saying what I can bat it 4 and I can hit left arm spin, because that surely won't be enough.
Spin, and that's good enough.
But they won't pick him only because of that. No, because he already bowled one over. Is there any sort of case where he can say, look, I can bowl over for you guys?
But I feel that's a strong enough case. The fact that he can dispatch any.
So basically, he's versatile. He can bat in any position. He can bash spin, and he can
for the West
bowl.
For these more sluggish West Indian surfaces. That's good enough.
Yeah. Sorry, Gurkirat, go on.
Yeah, see, one thing that he also has, which a lot of Indian batters don't have, is the raw power. You will have Indian players who are able to hit sixes, but they rely on timing, finesse, and other things. Shivam Dube has raw power, which is not something you rarely see with a lot of Indian batters. So there's obviously an upside to it, but you really need to get the most out of him by using him properly. I think what also goes against him is that he's not a great fielder. I mean, one of the reasons why he was being subbed out by Chennai was the fact that he was really a bad fielder. So probably he'll have to improve a little bit on that front. But coming to your original question, I feel if we are just looking at the order, the likelihood of these three players making to the 15 for the T20 World Cup next year would be Sundar, Prasidh, and Shivam Dube. But having said that, we are still 9 months away from it. 9 months is a long time to make these kinds of assumptions, or say anything with surety, because you really don't know what's going to be the form, how the injuries are going to be, and what is the overall team composition. Because right now, if you look at the full strength Indian 11, maybe Tilak Verma bats at 4 with Surya Kumar Yadav at 3, or those two players taking that number 3 and number 4 spot. So if they are there already at 3 and 4 with Hardik being your number 5, then maybe it would be difficult to fit in Dube anyway. You at best you could probably have him as a squad player, but like I said, for that he'll need to do a lot more.
He'll have to do a lot more. We've spoken about Prasidh and we finished talking about Dube right now. I want to ask Nix about the other third man, who's Washington Sundar. And we almost kind of put him in that same bracket next as someone like Deepak Chahar. He's a great number 8. He's a great T20 player only if he's fit. But that only if is a huge one. If you're Washington Sundar, how are you going to please the team management? Is it as simple as there's no other off spinner? I'm a left-handed batter. I've shown my credentials in the IPL. You can pick me. Is it as simple as that for someone like Sundar?
No, but then the performance also has to come, right? I don't think Sundar has been in that kind of touch, both with bat and ball. In TNPL as well, in all of the games that I saw of him, he did not take a lot of wickets. The one game he took three, but then all of them came very, very suddenly to him. So the form has deserted him. He was batting in the lower order, probably 5 and 6 at times, which again doesn't give you a lot of confidence. Maybe that is the role that he's seeing himself doing ahead, which is great. But I think there is still some work to be done. And yes, fitness does remain the primary concern. So fitness and then followed by good form, I think could really help him because, as Gurpreet also said, I think even Akshay touched upon it. On decks in West Indies, if they are slow, you need people with power. Sundar doesn't have power. Dubey has. So if it is between those two, I would probably risk with Shivam if you already have a strong enough spin attack. If you don't, then yes, you can get Sundar, but the usage also has to be very, very important because today Sundar did not bowl in the power play. So again, that is a condition specific call. And same like with Shivam, I don't think Shivam would have come at 4 because Ireland don't have a left arm seam spinner on paper. I mean, Dockrell can bowl, but had Shivam Dubey came on, they would have bowled Craig Young, Barry McCarthy, Mark Adair, every pacer possible.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's difficult to see how both of them will get together. As Paji said, there is room only for one of them. So, unless both of them go on a roll, which is good, the more the all rounders, the better. Because
Yeah.
batting depth is what saw them get to 139 today, and not anything else.
No, for sure. With Sundar, he mentioned it there. It's Sundar the bowler. None for 19 overs today. Can he just walk into this team as a bowler who can bat? Because even if you look at Sundar as a really good T20 player, I get flashbacks of him in that one RCB tournament. I mean, 2020 IPL was it?
Yeah,
Where he just kept being the power play merchant with the ball in hand
Yeah.
and he got critical wickets.
True.
Is
And
that something?
I think
That's what I was trying to say. I mean, I agree with you on that. Where Washington Sundar in the 2020 IPL season, that form was if he was in that form, he would have been a walk-in for me just as a bowler. The fact that he could also add value with the bat was just a great plus. But he's not in that form, and he's not been in that form for an extended period now. This season for SRH, last season for SRH, 2021 he was injured for the second half, so he's hardly done anything of note, and that's where the problem is. Like Nick's
you
mentioned,
know
even his current form, it's hard.
It's crazy. I mean, Gurkirat, you were mentioning this with Somesh the other day, was it? Because India, come to think of it, don't have any other off spinner in T20s, only if they look at Ashwin again to bring him back. Is that something that Sundar can be like, listen, there's no one else who bowls this kind of style. Let me have a go.
See, I think with players like Washington Sundar and Deepak Chahar, I don't think there's a problem in terms of the management not rating them. I think they're rated fine. It's just that their bodies are not supporting their careers right now. I'm not sure if it's the correct thing to say, but yeah, I mean, you try and understand what I'm trying to say. They've just been injured far too often. I think I was keeping count, but I think from the beginning of 2022, I don't think Deepak Chahar has been able to play 5 games for India. And Washington Sundar, when he's gotten his chances, he's also not been as consistent. I mean, you want Washington Sundar to take that next step in his batting abilities, but it's not happened. There have been chances where even in this IPL season where he played some 8 odd games for Sunrisers, there were a couple of opportunities where he could have finished the game for them, but he couldn't. Uh, I think in ODIs his bowling improved because he started to bowl a little slower, was able to get that purchase, but then he got injured. In fact, in this IPL for 7 games he went wicketless. He got wickets in one game against Delhi, and after that he was ruled out for the entire tournament. So he's just had a very weird career, so as to say, so far. There have been highs and there haven't really been lows, but he's just been out because of injuries. And now Nikhil was mentioning that he didn't really have a great TNPL. So if he's not setting up setting up the TNPL on fire with the bat, then he's not really making a great case for himself to be that all rounder who can bat at 8 and give you those hits. One of the reasons that Shardul has been in and around, he's hardly been dropped, is because he's someone who's able to stay fit, and then he's delivering with the bat far more than what others are doing. Even on his bad days with the ball, or on days where he's leaking runs, he's still able to somehow make it up with the bat, which has not been the
Yeah.
case with
Can you
others.
name the one team he scored a good one against? He scored very well against one team this IPL as well.
My, my
The two people in the studio will tell us.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. In fact, I missed that completely. But no, yeah, good spot there from
Yeah,
Nick.
he was playing spin better than a few RCB batters, and spin is not his strong suit.
Okay, let's not go there. Why? Could be. We haven't done anything to Gurkira this evening, but he wants to bring in and batter RCB.
The purple pugly, maybe
Maybe
bringing in
the
the
KKR
KKR fan
for
with
sure.
him.
By the way, I have some really sad news to give you guys, because this is official from the guys at the stadium as well. They're saying the weather has got absolutely horrendous. It's only going to get dire from here. They should call it off right now, because even in the next couple of hours, the forecast is not going to get better. So let's just consider, okay, all said and done, that India get the first win. What is India's biggest positive, guys, from today's game? Is it just the fact that we're seeing Bumrah back in a blue shirt? Is it, I don't know, Rinku and players like him making a debut? What is the biggest takeaway from tonight?
I mean, yeah, just seeing Bumrah, probably Rinko and all. There's nothing. We literally saw nothing of him. Not Bishnoi was good. So was it's
I
hard.
mean, 5 years from now, when we remember this T20, you'll just remember for Bumrah's.
Come back. Yeah, that's it. We just have to cherry pick right now. The six that Gaikwad hit, the six that Jaiswal hit. That's pretty much it. There's very little you can cherry pick.
Very little. I
Yeah.
think Bishnoi may be the other plus, maybe.
Had a good spell, had a good outing for sure, but yeah, like nothing much to write home about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just say Barry McCarthy again.
Boys, do you agree? Bumrah being the biggest positive tonight, or did you guys observe something else?
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, I think nothing stopping the fact that Bumrah has finally made his comeback in what, 11 months? Yeah, so nothing's going to top that. And while he did not look at his menacing best in terms of pace, he wasn't all over the place. He was still, he bowled with decent accuracy. And when you are making a comeback, it's never easy, because and we have to be mindful of the fact that this is not the first time that Bumrah had picked up a back injury. I think it's the second time that has happened with him. So it wouldn't have been easy for him to bowl with that accuracy. My mind goes back to last year when we were having this discussion, when we had Vivek Razdan on cricket.com. He spoke of how once he had injured his sides. He injured, and he is telling me that the first professional game that he was playing, more than his focus about landing the ball where he wanted to bowl, he was more concerned about not injuring that body part again. So that, and when you're coming off of such a long layoff, and there's pressure as well to get fit in time because of the World Cup. So the fact that Bumrah was accurate enough, I think, is the biggest positive, and you just have to hope that he keeps peaking by the time the World Cup comes in the next two T20Is, the Asia Cup, so that by the time India play their first game versus Australia on the 8th, uh, he's bowling at full tilt.
I mean, we spoke to that doctor, remember, during the IPL about Bumrah's stress fracture and all of that. And sometimes I think I've also seen a lot of footballers on record go on to say, with these kind of similar injuries, even once you're back into your full fitness, you never know when the next niggle's around the corner, because you can almost
Avnish,
it's coming.
Avnish,
Go on.
you're also very close to being a semi-professional fast bowler yourself. Why don't
Put
you?
Akshay in that category. Have you seen him bowl? You've seen him
Yeah,
bowl, right? You've
yeah,
taken him downtown for six as well.
yeah. I didn't want to go there, but yeah, I did.
The
I
only
had
time
a very good shuffle.
for six is when I bowled some dolly ones, pyar se. Otherwise, when I was bowling my good Sean did, like, I think I have a. You remember that Pakistan bowler?
Spongy bounce. Spongy
What,
ones.
what was that Pakistan bowler in 2003, 2004, bro?
Are
Akbar.
There was Shabir Ahmed in
No, there was an
2003.
Akbar guy, bro.
Fazal Akbar.
Fazal Akbar. I think I bowled like Fazal Akbar. Go check out his action. He
I
bowled to
don't even
Derby
know
at
that.
78.
Yeah, I know.
So basically, like a good wind up. And because Gurkirat's also like, he's actually Papa Potting, bro. He has a high back lift. High back lift. And I had to kind of nail my Yorkers. Otherwise, the man has, like he was talking about Dubey's power. Gurkirat's power is quite a max punch, the man. But yeah,
Power to be yaar, kuch khas.
jokes apart, though, we'll definitely look forward to playing cricket with Gurkirat and Knicks when the time they are back in Bangalore. But right now, guys, I don't think this watch along is going to ensue at any moment in time because all the sources that we have are telling us that just walk away, lads. Because right now, it's pouring.
What's
And
the cutoff time though?
the cutoff time is in another 31 minutes.
Oh, hello. At least that sort of
22:50 is what they're showing. But it could be
so that's 20 minutes actually. Like it's already 10:30 right now.
30 minutes.
But guys, I mean, there's something we spoke about earlier in the innings when both of you weren't there. LSG letting go of Gambhir. Let's talk a bit about that. I mean,
Is it official? Is it official?
I thought that's what that was the news making the rounds.
Arey, he's busy for elections. So that is all it is going to be.
Oh,
he's playing a different game. That's it.
Because we initially thought that he's got the axe.
Yeah.
And with MSK Prasad coming there as chief strategic director or whatever, I mean, they just like these fancy titles, which I understand to a certain degree needs to be had, especially like what Jayawardene is doing with MI. I think he's the technical director.
Not technical, the head of global thing now. Oh,
Scouts.
that's Zahir. That's Zahir. Yeah, he's some director.
See, there was a handy flower there, and it didn't
Yeah.
make a difference. So it doesn't matter what happens.
True. By the way, there's more weather updates to give you guys right now because it goes on to say rain is only going to get worse. We should call it a match. The visuals don't look promising, but fingers crossed we get some more cricket, but that's highly doubtful. And India, as you guys know, are 2 runs ahead of the DLS bar. It also goes to show some videos, and right now it's literally like, chaotic Bangalore rains. It's literally like that. So I don't know whether it's going to relent, but if it does, then I think we'll get some over cut, I'm guessing, because it's going to be a curtailed game. But there's plenty of things to definitely look forward to later on this week. In fact, let's plug in a few things, starting off with our cricket.com stance episode, which, Vikas, is it out already?
Nope. We were right in the middle.
Okay, so it'll probably be out right after this watch along. We'll put it in time so you guys can check our personal thoughts about the Ireland series, Bumrah being back, so on and so forth. Sunday, of course, Knicks, Gurkirat, Akshay and me will be back doing the watch along for the second T20 International. Saturday, we have the explainers. And Monday Night Live, we have, of course, a great show ahead, which is me, Knicks, and Nikhil. What's the topic this time around, boys?
It was still a good 3 days away. Let's.
It'll probably be more India Ireland chat, picking the bones out of it, but we'll also talk about different things like we always
CPL's
do.
begun. Rakeem Cornwall's dismissal. That could be the highlight.
Did you guys see that? Rakeem Cornwall's dismissal. Oh my God.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely
My-
loved the attitude.
Did any of you see it live?
Yours truly.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was so bizarre.
My
didn't know.
only query is why did you do that? And that is to Kyle Mayers and not to Cornwall. There is no need of that. Single Cornwall can set the game up for you with enough just being there in the power play. That's what his role is. I don't know. We are still away from banning quick singles from power play.
But one more thing, Santosh Hudpar actually mentioned this a couple of times, talking about CPL schedule. So St. Lucia Kings have played 2 back-to-back games, and in the T20 format, I understand that you're not playing a lot. Like it's not an ODI where you're out in the field for 8 to 10 hours. But what do you make of that, playing back-to-back games, 2 games in 2 days? Like India also played West Indies on Saturday and Sunday. Don't you think it takes a toll on these players because there's no time for recovery? Or
I'll tell you why I say that. Because look at how the men used to play 40 years, 30 years, 20 years ago. I know the game's changed. I know there's lots more volume of cricket and all of that. But it's 40 overs, 80 overs, you're part of it. Just do it on back-to-back games. essentially, dude.
Alright.
I mean, nowadays even ODI cricket doesn't go the whole 95, 100 overs. There's some games which just end in 55, 60 overs in terms of the ODI game. T20s, let them just, like, honestly, I was going to say a really nasty thing, but let them just accept their money and play for the country, yaar. Mazak chal raha hai.
I mean, it's a very slippery slope, because see, in test matches you have sometimes teams bowling 2 days back to back without much recovery. So if you're comparing it with that, then yeah, I mean, at most a bowler has to bowl 4 overs, and then there's pretty much a recovery period. There's at least some recovery period for you to come back and bowl 4 overs. Even as a batter, I mean, the maximum that you would be batting for is 1.5 hour, or 2 hours. And then, because sometimes, if you have played a game, you could the amount of time that you spend on the field playing a back-to-back T20I game could be very similar to the time that you would be having a practice session. And yeah, but you could argue that the intensity is different, so probably it takes a little more out of the body. But given the fact, like I said, if you've played enough test cricket wherein you've probably had to bat the whole day, go back again, and then field, or probably bowl the whole day, or bowl
But
4 or 5
even
sessions.
Test cricket, I mean, I don't understand that. Why can't these guys just play back-to-back days? Why is it such a
See,
crime?
if you're traveling, then it's not possible for sure. But if it's the same venue, uh, then I think it's still possible. I remember in 2009 IPL, Deccan Chargers played a night game, and the next day they were playing an afternoon game. And they'd won the night game, which was versus KKR. Rohit Sharma scored some 26 runs of the last over of Mushrafi Murtaza, and the next day they lost to Kings 11 because Yuvraj Singh took a hat trick. But I thought that was actually difficult, that you play a game at night and then you have to play an afternoon game. I
Yeah,
think
but
that
if
is
that,
very
if
difficult.
that venue is like Joburg, why wouldn't you? I mean, it's sort of been like Hyderabad, right?
No, but you still had literally no recovery. Anyway, if you have to play back-to-back games, the venue has to remain same.
Yeah.
That was the case in SA20 as well earlier this year. But I thought that was really cruel. You play a night game, and it takes time to recover from a game like that where you've
Yeah.
won in the last over, and then you have to come and play an afternoon game. I think that's really cruel.
I think the
Sorry?
worst is
Sorry,
what you see in England.
years. They play the playoffs game.
Yeah, the
just-
WPL scheduling was ridiculous because it was just 5 teams, but we understood that. Sorry, Nick, you wanted to
Sorry,
say
yeah.
something?
Now, say the T20 Blast has this thing, right, with finals day, where you
I've
have,
Yeah.
and it is unfair. You saw the last game how it went out. It is what it's. That is the worst way to do it. I don't think you should be playing 2 games in a day. If it's the
Yeah,
same
2
venue,
games
there
is
is
ridiculous.
yeah there is 2 games in 2 days with enough gap between them, at least 10 to 12 hours minimum, bare minimum.
Yeah.
Even that at times is less, but then it is still possible if the conditions are good enough. But I think it's the problem of a lot of traveling that invariably you see it happening everywhere. There are
Yeah.
times even in the LPL or in the TNPL you see teams playing back to back. Some then they go to a way where it's a break of 2 days and then they resume again.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
either do that or you play back to back. So that is how things are.
Because apart from IPL and BBL, every other league has only 5
I
or
was
6
just going to say
teams
that,
playing.
yeah, because the congestion is such that you have to kind of help your boards meet that window and that period of where, okay, fine, if you're siphoning off LPL for 3 weeks, it has to be done between this and this. So they have to kind of usher the teams in, and some players might not like it, some squads might not like it, but
And-
that's the rub of the way. I mean,
and
yes.
and what I find a little silly is that regardless of the number of teams you have, you still have a top four. I mean,
Oh,
if you have 5 or 6 teams, might as well have just the finals because there are teams who've not even won 50% of their games and they're making the playoffs just to add on to the number of games.
IPL. Like,
Then when Paje gets into the business side of things, when he owns a team, then we'll talk about this.
अरे वो तो इस जन्म में तो नहीं हो रहा.
कम से कम अगर 5 टीम है तो at least do with the Premier League way ना. Round robin. I mean, everyone plays. Then just the top 2 teams play the finals.
But the Premier League's not like that.
I mean, Fine, whatever it is. There's no finals. I agree. There's no finals, and
No, essentially, I understand what he means in the sense the round robin can go on. But look, we can go on as well with regards to just applying ourselves in this watch along. But like I said, more dire news from Dublin and more misery from Malahide and more weather updates to give you because
Yeah.
it's not relenting.
true, and which means only one thing. We've just had Shubh sneak into the studio, grab the bat,
Oh, you know,
for
we're
some
playing
office
cricket today. We're playing corporate
Yeah,
cricket.
because rain could mean just
Oh
one
my
thing.
God,
Just
if
the one thing.
he's tempted me, that boy, Shub. But yeah, look, should we just call it a night, lads? Because essentially, I don't think there's going to be action. You guys can hold me hostage, kill me in the second watch along if India go on to win this and come back in some dramatic fashion.
India's already won this.
I know, but I'm saying if there's an action, if
Acha,
there's a
I see.
curtail game, and
Alright.
we've gone home and there's a super over, then you can blame me.
All right, yeah, sure.
Okay.
We know who to sort of kill, maybe.
Yeah, maybe Kill. I mean, not Gil, but of course, I mean, that's a good movie, Kill Bill, but Kill Gil. But listen, guys, Gurkirat, next, thank you so much for being
Also,
part
one
of this
last
watch
plug-in,
along.
since you mentioned movies, let's make one
Movies,
final-
of course. I don't know if Nix and Gurkirat
Yeah.
know this, but Goomer released earlier today, and it's a fantastic watch, just like any other great Indian sporting movie. Watch it, guys, and tell us how many times you guys can spot cricket.com in the movie of
True,
Goomer.
true.
Because Amitabh spoken about it, Sehwag spoken about it, Harsha Bhogale, just the works, but it's a great movie. Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I actually want to catch a glimpse of it. Haven't had the time, of course, it's released today, but probably even go to the theater this weekend if possible.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, Ireland's game might delay those plans.
true.
But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Something we even spoke about, the cast, Amitabh, Abhishek coming together after a long time. Abhishek is someone who I personally like a lot, very underrated, is a good actor, just bad choice with movies. But yeah, Gurkirat, Nix, what do you guys think? Have you had a chance to watch the trailer, to even watch the movie, in fact? अच्छा, movie-
इट्स क्रिकेट मूवी है तो कैसे फिर आप कितना
अरे ये
टाइम
होता है dedication. So guys, be like Nix.
Because I know Gurkirat really liked Made in Heaven, and he went on to explain why as well. But Gurkirat, you'll definitely like
I,
Goomer as well.
yeah, I've been trying to watch a lot of stuff these days. I liked Made in Heaven. I liked Rocky or Rani Ki Prem Kahani as well. Yeah, see, I heard Akshay saying that he likes Abhishek. Yeah, even I like Abhishek Bachchan. I think sometimes people are just too harsh in terms of judging him as an actor. I find him quite good. So yeah, I'd try and watch it as soon as it's possible. Probably cricket.com can give me a break. Maybe then I can go and watch that movie.
Always. I'll tell you what, I'll send you 2 gold encrusted PVR tickets for you. And of course,
Yeah,
any
include me
plus
also.
one.
That's sure.
What, you're going to go to Delhi to watch a movie with him
You can book them in Bangalore as well.
and call him for a movie.
Book one for him. Book one for me. Come on, I'm pretty sure that's.
No,
And
but he
book-
was anyway. He's anyway planning to come to Delhi. If
Oh, that's
if he's
true.
there,
That's
if he's there when I'm there, well, we'll go to that famous place to have galati kebabs, and I'll send you photos.
I'm really banking on
Rajendra
Gurkirat.
Daba.
I'm of course you had to bring that up. I'm really banking on Gurkirat. Let's see if he stays true to his
No,
promise.
he'll deliver. He'll deliver just like the movie will. So check out Goomer, guys. Really,
Yeah.
really good watch. I can't believe I'm going to watch Goomer this weekend more than Oppenheimer and Barbie only I haven't seen. Bye. So I'll go check out Goomer. I'll see how it is, and I'm sure it'll be a riveting watch. Just to give you another update before we sign off from this watch along, it's still coming on pretty hard in Malahide, so I don't think we're going to get a game. But if we do, follow us on our live blog, follow us on the website and the app, of course, and we'll be back here refreshed, recharged on Sunday, good to go again with Nix and Gurkirat. Thanks so much for you guys to participate as ever in the comments below, all the viewers as well. And it's a goodbye from us, but plenty of action and videos to come on cricket.com. Check that out. That's all we have for today. That's such a sad way to end the show, but I had to. I'm sorry, all you people. Do me a favor and like this video. What else can I say? Because
Please.
I've been a weatherman in previous jobs before, but this time I'm doing it from a watch along perspective, and it's sad news from Dublin. That's all we have. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.